Before we start, we want to quickly, first of all, say a very special thanks to Rachel and Ike SS for opening their home and to inviting Baruch Hashem, that they're opening their home, inviting everybody. There's needless to say, what a big mitzvah to open your home to a shiur Torah, to get people inspired, to get people to learn Torah and get everybody together. And it's not an official Chanukat Habayit, but we want to give the essences a bracha. Within this house should be bracha for parnasa and shiduchim for the kids and briut and everything that they wish for themselves. They should get in an abundance. The home should be a place of dwelling of bracha. We also want to dedicate the night to Leilu Nishmat Moshe ben Rina, Yaakov HaKohen ben Sarah, Shlomo ben Gilsom. Tonight is the Yartzeit, right? And also a very special prayer for refuah for Rina Bat Geretz. Should have a refuah shlema miyad. We're not going to take names now. I know you all want to give me your names, but Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll do that later. But we'll say a general bracha to everybody who needs parnasa should have parnasa berevach, beshefa. Whoever needs briut should have briut eitana, and shiduchim for the kids. Everything that you wish for yourself should be in an abundance. And Be'ezrat Hashem, with the zchut of the shiur, let's hope that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gives us all the special beracha that we all want for ourselves. So, we wanted to talk about today a very sensitive topic, is how can I live a happy life? At the end of the day, when I close the lights and I go to sleep and I put the blanket on my head and nobody's around me, and I do my cheshbon nefesh, then most people find that they're really not really happy. And then when they wake up in the morning and it's time to go out of bed, then they realize again that I'm miserable. So it doesn't mean a person is mean, bad, or something's wrong with that person, but the sad reality is that we're all battling with something and we're carrying a burden with us. And I always give the same example. Baruch Hashem, we have a very broad online presence. So with that comes a lot of attention. And on an average day, we get about 1,000 to 1,500 emails every day. We have 5 girls just processing emails. That's like 50,000 emails a month. And the sad reality is that I never got one email that somebody said, hello, my name is so-and-so. I just wanted to let you know everything's okay. Everything is good. All the emails are tragedies. Loss of money, diseases, death, problems, kids going this direction, cheating, stealing. That's the sad reality. You know, I said this in a lecture not too long ago. Somebody sent me an email, said, I just wanted to let you know that everything's okay. But the sad reality is that we're all going through some type of a challenge. Some of us, it's easy to share it with others to get some comfort, and some don't. They live with the burden inside. Now the point is not to figure out why it's happening. That is an answer that cannot be answered. That's a question, sorry, that cannot be answered. People will answer, why is this happening to me? Why I can't marry off my kid? Why I lost my money? Why this is happening? There are 2 questions that I don't like. I don't know who invented them. Is why and what if. Why? You'll never know. It doesn't matter. And what if? Why are you trying to think of something that didn't even happen? So we want to talk about tonight not the why and the what if, rather what can I do, little things that can bring me a little bit of happiness into my life. Now, the happiness in my life is broken into two segments. One of them comes from the spiritual level, and one of them comes from the physical level. From the spiritual level, we're not going to talk too much about it, but when I am following the Torah, then I feed my soul. And you know, Be'ezrat Hashem, Mashiach is going to come in the next 10 days, but if not, in 9 days, we're going to have to fast for 25 hours. You know, Hashem made all these fasts that we're going to pray for Mashiach to come, that I don't have to fast. But now, the countdowns starts. A week and a half ago was Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. I think I got 500 calls the day before asking me for permission not to fast. So some had good excuses. I'm breastfeeding, I'm pregnant. One of them told me, I want to get pregnant. Can I not fast? And the other one told me, my kid, I stopped breastfeeding 3 years ago, but I still feed my kid. Nobody wants to fast. And everybody comes with all the loopholes. My uncle is sick, I have to drive him, it's going to be hard for me. And why is everybody dreading the fast? Because who wants to fast? I don't want to be uncomfortable. You know what happens when I fast? I get hungry, a stomach ache, then I get a headache, then I get dizzy, then I get weak, I get upset. I'm spoiled. I need to go every 5 minutes to the fridge and open the fridge. If my mouth doesn't go like this for 1 hour, something's wrong. So when I put my body on a fast, then my body starts reacting. After a couple hours, my mouth gets dry. Then after a couple hours, I get a headache. A couple hours later, I get a stomach ache. Then I become weak. Then I become nauseous. And why? Because I'm not eating. I'm not eating and I'm not drinking. If I put my soul on a fast, then the soul is also going to start reacting. If I don't give my soul Torah, mitzvot, prayers, and all these things, I put my soul on a fast, my soul is going to start from inside, hello, shaking me from inside. So I'll get depressed, I'll get sad, I'll get moody, I'll get nervous, I'll get all these emotions, and I will blame it on the world. I'll get sad, I'll blame it to everything around me. I'll get in a bad mood because everybody's annoying me. It's not the surrounding that affects me, it's the inside. If my inside is calm, then I'm calm. I'm not going to be upset, I'm not going to be sad, I'm not going to be depressed. So if I'm choking my neshama, then I can't complain that I have all these problems. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. And the reality is, if you want to be true to yourself, look in the mirror where nobody's looking. You don't have to do it in front of everybody. And you have to be honest with yourself. And you're saying, yeah, I'm not happy. This is not working out, that is not working out. I don't have a good mood, I don't have energy. A lot of it is coming from the inside. Sometimes my soul just needs a little bit. Doesn't need. People think that if I need to feed my soul, meaning I need to be a little bit more connected to the Torah, people have the image, oh, I have to be now 5 hours every day in the shul, and I have to pray, and a beard, and black suit, and that's not the Torah. It has nothing to do with it. This is a completely different thing. But I have to feed my neshama with Torah, even if it's 10 minutes a day. Doesn't matter what it is. Sit and watch a class for 10 minutes. Read a little bit of Tehillim. I need to give my soul prayers. I have to pray. My prayer is not for me to ask for money and a nice house and shidduchim. Praying is like getting connected to the electricity and I'm being charged. That's what it is. And I have to have mitzvot. All these things are food and air to the neshama. And if I don't give it, you can't complain that things are not going well. But this is the spiritual part. Then comes another level, the physical part, is that I cause 50 to 80% of my own problems, I cause them. And I cause them because I have something in me that is driving me crazy, and this something is called an ego. My yeshut. Because if my ego gets upset, then it throws me off. Now if you say something I don't like, I'll get upset. If you say something insulting, I'll get insulted. If you don't want to listen to me, then it will affect me. Why? Because my ego kicks in. How dare he tell me that? How dare she not listen to me? So we have a battle with our ego, that our ego is constantly pulling this wall and causing me to get upset, to get depressed, to get angry, to get hyper, because somebody did something to me. Like, how dare they do to me? The majesty of the world. Now, the problem is that, it's sad. Nobody wants to hear that they have an ego. Who wants to be proven and saying you have an ego? But the reality is that we all have this ego, and in most cases it's out of control. To a point that, most people wake up in the morning, they look in the mirror, They're like, whew. God was, what he did here is unbelievable. Now they don't say it with words. Nobody says it with words. Although I do know people, they say it with words. But you don't say it with words, but you look in the mirror and you're like, this is perfection. And when somebody comes and tells you, oh, you want to know what's perfection? Look at this. See? So that's how we operate, that we think that we're like, and then if chas v'shalom somebody's going to come and do something against me, then now the ego is getting very defensive. Now this is a whole different thing that's not what I want to talk about, but the ego triggers emotions. And what happens when my ego gets upset, it triggers emotions and I hold them. So if somebody upsets me for something irrelevant, I hold the anger in me. Somebody hurts me, I will hold the sadness or the feeling, the emotions that got hurt inside of me. And then what happens is that I'm a sack of negative feelings. I'm walking around, that person hurt me, I'm upset. That person said something wrong to me. That person cut me in the street. That person looked at me the wrong way. That person called me a name. So I'm going now, I'm holding all these emotions that somebody else did that mostly is irrelevant even. Now, who's the one that I'm punishing? Only myself. And some people hold things for years. Some people don't talk to their brother for 20 years. Why? Because he didn't sit them in the right table in the bar mitzvah. How dare he put me in the table with the uncle and for irrelevant things. I'm saying that example because that's what I'm dealing now with some guy. He's not talking to his brother for 20 years because since some bar mitzvah, he sat them in the wrong table. Are you out of your mind? You out of your mind? This is what you causing you to anger? Or something so simple? Maybe tell me that he cheated you out of your money. Oh, I can maybe give you a discount. But the reality is that we get upset for irrelevant things. Something small. Somebody does something to me that has nothing, they didn't even do it on purpose. And the whole day I'm aggravated. And it's driving me insane. So I'm carrying a negative energy that belongs to somebody else, doesn't even belong to me. Somebody just said something to me in the morning and I'm now upset the whole morning. Why are you upset? Because somebody annoyed you? Because somebody else is stupid, so you have to be annoyed by that? The problem is with most people is that they take a lot because this is our nature. We are human beings that our nature is to take. We don't like giving. Very few people are givers. Most people are, they just, what is it in for me? What am I getting here? And you see that when a baby is born, he's born with his hands closed. Because babies, they come to the world, what am I taking from this world? When people die, they die with their hands open. Because that's it. I'm not taking anything from this world anymore. I'm out. This is not a myth. Ask a doctor. You see, babies are born with fists. And people who die, their hands are open. So we come to this world with what is in it for me. I have a relationship with you. If I don't have any benefits, I don't need this relationship. If you're not helping me in any type of a way, then usually there's not going to be a relationship here. And the only relationship will be because it's family, so I'm stuck. But in the real world, if I don't have any benefit from you, hello, and that's it. We just talked about it today, that when you do a mitzvah, because you have in your back of your mind that person that you're helping, that maybe down the line that person will help you in any type of a way, that you have an agenda behind it, it's not a mitzvah. Even if you help that person with chesed, with money, whatever it is. But if you're in the back of your mind, you're saying, I'm going to now help this guy, not because I want to do achnasat orchim, not because I want to do tzedakah, chesed, because I know that he knows him that knows him, and him can help me later on with something. So the unfortunate reality is that in most cases I approach a situation, first few minutes I'm fishing to see if I can get anything from that person. If I can't get anything from that person, I have no reason to now interact with that individual. And I don't have any benefit from that. And I'm not saying it because we're mean, because our nature is to take. That's how Hashem created us. Hashem created us with this will. It's called haratzon lekabel, the desire to take. Because that's how Hashem created me. And here Hashem comes and says, I want you to reverse it. I want you to not take, I want you to give. So what happens is that when somebody does something negative to me, instead of me stopping it, I'm taking it. And now I'm carrying in me anger, sadness, emotions, I'm hurt, whatever it is. Because somebody said something, and you know what? In most of the cases, that person doesn't even know he did something wrong. How many times somebody cuts you in the street, and you scream and curse, and the whole day you're uptight, and that person didn't even notice. He's in a rush somewhere. He didn't even notice you. He doesn't even know you exist. He doesn't even know that he cut you. And the whole day now the whole 40 minutes in the car, you're upset. Now you get to the office, you're even more upset. And the whole day, you don't even know why you're upset. Then you start telling it, I'm upset because this customer said this, because that is not working. No, you're upset because somebody did something irrelevant. Now you're taking it, now you're holding it inside. How many times you have an argument with your spouse? Something simple. You go to sleep, you don't fall asleep. 3-4 hours, you're tossing and turning. How dare she tell me that? And in the morning, you still remember what we talked about 3 weeks ago? Yes! So, I mean, it's funny. If we would be able to look at ourselves, we would be laughing. Just where we can look at ourselves and we can take criticism. If somebody will tell me how bad I am, I wouldn't be laughing. I would be getting defensive. But the reality is that if we would be able to look at ourselves, we would be like, what is this? This is ridiculous. Like little kids. Sometimes I look at my kids and they fight about something, and I'm like, what are you fighting over? A little plastic? A little piece of plastic? Here, I'll give you another one. That's what you're fighting? And we're like adults. We're supposed to be adults, but we're acting like little kids. And we fight over these little things that annoy us. So when we want to simplify the whole thing, is if I put my soul on a spiritual diet, it will suffer. That's it, end of story. There's not much to talk about it. You make your own cheshbonot. What can I feed my soul that it will be a little bit happier? That's it. I have to pray once a day? Okay, so I know it's not convenient to pray 3 times a day. I also have to go 3 times a day. I also have issues with that. I think 1 is enough. No? Why do I have to do 3 times a day? But I'm not complaining. I'm doing what Hashem tells me to do. People look at me and they think that that I just run to shul in the morning. I also am a human being. I also don't like doing certain things. But sometimes you do what you have to do. And the same way that you wake up in the morning and you go to work, even though you don't want to go to work. Why you go to work? Because you have to pay the mortgage and the car and the insurance and the tuition and food. And most people, they would wish to say, no, I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to. But what motivates me to go is if I'm not going to go, there's not going to be money. Same thing here. Sometimes I have to do things, I don't want to do them, but I have to because that's what my neshama needs. So each person needs to say, okay, if I'm already holding here, it doesn't matter what level you are. But you have to do something. Your soul needs something. It's not fair for your neshama. And every person does their own calculation where they're holding. One person, it's hard for them to do a certain mitzvah, then you do it once a day. The other person keeps this mitzvah. You have to do something. I'm not here going to stand and start telling you have to be orthodox from morning to night. That's not the point of the lecture tonight. But the point is to understand that you have to do something. You can't go home and say, I'll just do whatever I want and expect my soul not to be happy. That's how it works. And put it to the test. A lot of people come and tell me, listen, I'm sad, this is a problem, that doesn't work out, this doesn't work out. Give me advice. I tell them, put tefillin on. No, I told you I have problems with parnasah, with money, with kids. Why are you telling me to put tefillin on? It says because your neshama is sad, not because you have problems at home. Your soul is sad, so it doesn't know how to deal with situations. I also have a wife, I also have kids, I also need to pay tuition, and I'm not different. Even though maybe I might be sitting on a higher chair, but I'm exactly like you. But I just know how to deal with things. I also have to pay 6 kids, 6 tuitions. That's also, they don't give me a discount, by the way. You would think they would give me a discount. They don't give me a discount. So the difference is that I know how to deal with the situation. I also have situations. I also have family crisis and here problems and there problems. Just that I look at it in a completely different way. I don't let it affect me. There's a situation, let's deal with it. I don't fall into depression, sadness, anger, and all these emotions because something was thrown into my way. So the point is, why am I not getting affected from that? And not that I'm special. Because I strengthen my neshama. If my neshama is happy and strong, then a little thing is not going to move me. My kid is not doing so great in school, it's not going to drive me crazy. A little bit of money is missing in the bank account, it's not going to make me lose sleep, because the neshama has to be strong. Then when it comes to the more emotional part, we can't take things and hold them. The problem with most people, they don't know how to let go. They hold everything very close inside. You take everything personal and you don't know how to let go. If you start learning and knowing how to let go, then you don't get so upset. So the point is, it doesn't mean that now you're going to leave this door and say, okay, I'm going to start doing a mitzvah and I'm going to let things go and I'm going to be the happiest person in the world. It doesn't change the reality. The outlook, how you look at things, that changes the reality. But you at least want to do damage control. That's I like calling it damage control. There's a problem, at least reduce the problem. So if I'm 100% not happy, let me make me 50% not happy. I want to add some life to, some happiness into my life. And one of the most important things is that you have to start learning how am I letting go. How can I forgive? How I can be more merciful. The reality, I told you, it all comes down from our ego. Our ego doesn't let me do that. Now for the ones of you who pray every day, there's something that we pray 3 times a day, it's called tachanun. And in tachanun, we say something that is called vidui. Vidui is a confession. Now most people say it in the speed of an F-16. There's not really vidui. But the reality is that you have to say, you confess. Ashamnu, bagadnu, gazalnu, I've stolen, I've cheated, I've lied, I've embezzled. But after that, we mentioned the 13 attributes of mercy of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. These 13 attributes of mercy are the key to everything. Because now, we just read now, and we're celebrating the 3 weeks, Techev Tisha B'Av. On Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, Moshe Rabbeinu came down from the mountains with the tablets, with the Aseret HaDibrot, and then he saw Bnei Israel with the golden calf, a big party, and he broke the tablets. Technically, that day was supposed to be the happiest day of our life, because Moshe Rabbeinu was supposed to come down to the ground with the Aseret HaDibrot, with the tablets, with Shtei Luchot HaBrit. On that moment, he was supposed to get the neshama of Mashiach and take them into Eretz Israel. That was supposed to be the plan. Instead of that, he saw the sin, the golden calf, so he broke the tablets. It doesn't matter right now what happened. Some people say he actually broke them. The reality is that the tablets were huge. They were like 2 meters big. Moshe Rabbeinu was a big guy. But the Kedusha went out of the stones and the stones just fell down. But that was supposed to be the happiest day of our life. This was supposed to be our Independence Day. But it got messed up. 40 days later, Moshe Rabbeinu, he went again up to the mountain, comes down again in Rosh Chodesh Elul, goes back again to the mountain, comes down again in Yom Kippur. 3 times Moshe Rabbeinu went up to the mountain. Now, after the golden calf, the Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to destroy Bnei Israel. He said to Moshe, move aside, I'm going to destroy them now, I don't need them. At some point, Moshe Rabbeinu says, no, if you're destroying them, then take me out of your book. I don't want to do anything with it. But for 40 days, Moshe Rabbeinu was in the Shamayim praying. And doesn't matter what he tried, Hashem didn't listen. Till he said 13 words of magic words, the 13 attributes of mercy. Moshe Rabbeinu just said the 13 attributes of mercy, and Hashem says, Salachti kidvarecha, I forgive him. This is the code that opens the safe of Rachamim. Now if you look at the attributes, you'll see the first 2 is just Hashem's name, Hashem. But then we have Kel, Rachum, Chanun, Erech Apayim, Rav Chesed. All these attributes, merciful, forgiving, and have mercy. And Hashem says, what I am, I want you to be. In Sefer Bereshit it says, B'tzelem Elokim nivra Adam, with the image of God man was created. Hashem says, I created you looking like me. Whatever I am, I want you to be. If I am Chanun, meaning I forgive, I want you to be forgiving. If I'm Rachum, if I have mercy, I want you to have mercy. Now if I don't know how to do it, that's how I hold everything inside. If I don't know how to follow these 13 attributes of mercy, then I hold all the junk inside. Now, who's suffering from that? Only me. If I'm upset at you because you did something, I'm suffering, not you. You're going to walk around, you'll go to sleep, not you, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with you. Happens to be your first row. But somebody does something to me, they go home, they're fine. I'm the one who's going to lose sleep. I'm the one who's not going to have an appetite. I'm the one who's going to be upset at my wife and kids and everybody. Because I'm leaving it inside. And if I know how to get rid of it, get rid of the junk, then the inside is clean. The Kadosh Baruch Hu comes and says, you have to be rachum. You have to have mercy. You have to feel bad for other people. You have to be chanun. You have to forgive people. But then there's one attribute that is very hard to do, besides the fact that most people don't even know what it means. In Hebrew, it's called erech apayim. Erech apayim in English means forbearance. Forbearance means that you did something bad to me, deliberately, knowingly, and intentionally, and I still forgive you. I still let go. You didn't do it by mistake. You knew exactly what you're about to do. Either it was planned, it doesn't matter. But you knew exactly. That was your intention. And I still say, I forgive. I let go. I'm not holding it inside. This is a very hard thing to do. Erech apayim, just remember that, forbearance. And Hashem says, you do that to me all day long. I tell you to keep Shabbat, you desecrate Shabbat. I tell you to keep kosher, you eat whatever you want. I tell you to do this, you do that. Hashem says, you do that to me too. You don't listen to me. If Hashem had an ego, we wouldn't be even alive if Hashem would have an ego. Just said, Hashem, let's go all the time, like a little kid. I don't get upset from my little kids. Some people get upset from their little kids. Like as if the little kid is doing something deliberately. The boy is 4 years old. What do you think? He's sitting in his room and planning how to annoy you? Some people, they go crazy. What are you getting crazy? It's a 4-year-old boy. Trust me, he's not planning a plot in the room. How am I going to annoy my father now? Oh, I'm going to do this now. 4-year-olds, they're just impulsively, they shoot. They don't plan. They just do whatever they want to do. And then parents get upset. They don't listen to me. The other day, a set of parents came to me. Oh, we got to talk to you. And I was expecting like a I don't know what. And then the guy is telling me, my kids don't listen to me. I said, oh, that's not nice. How old are they? 17? No, 2, 3, 7. I told him, what are you serious? You want a 4-year-old to listen to you? They have to have kibud avim. It's a 4-year-old. He doesn't even know how to read. I thought you were going to tell me my kid is 17 and he's not listening to you. I could tell you, okay, this is something else. So, kids, they don't plan to hurt you. They just do whatever they want. The problem is that we take things so personally and we don't know how to let go, even if that person did that on purpose. I'm not talking about by mistake now, somebody cut you on the street, you don't even know that person. You curse him, somebody cuts you in the street, most people, the curses that came out of their mouth, you would think that you work for the Satan, the klalot. All the diseases in the world that person has now, you killed all of his family, your mother, you don't even know the person. Maybe that's the person that is going to help you at some point. Sometimes we don't even know who we're cursing. It's sad to see that, but what happens when it's somebody you know? Unfortunately, our ego is like a muscle. If you work it a lot, it becomes stronger and stronger. And the point is that you need to know how to put things in the right perspective to be able to forgive and to forget. Because the only one who suffers is only me. I'm the only one that at the end of the day will suffer. My father taught me something when I was a little kid. Up until today, it's engraved in my mind, and that's how I operate. Because I used to hold grudge, I used to be upset, I used to be getting angry by everything. My father once told me, Al tiyeh tzodek, tiyeh chacham. Don't be right, be smart. Because it doesn't matter if you're right or not. Nobody cares if you're right or not. And when you fight to prove that you are right, you're in a fight. And if you're smart, then you know how to let things go. And in this world, you don't have to be right. It doesn't matter if you're right or not. Even if you are 5,000% right, it's not about being right. It's about being smart. Because if you're right, you're going to have a headache, you're not going to sleep, you're going to have stomach aches, you're not going to digest your food because you're so upset, and all these problems. So what good is it for you to be right? Better to be smart. So I look in a situation and I'm saying, it doesn't matter if I'm right or not. It's not a competition, who's right? Let me be smart. Sometimes you go into a certain confrontation and you're saying, should I go into, what is it going to be? So I'll prove at the end of the day that I was right. Big deal. In the meantime, I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose time, I'm going to have anger, I'm going to have problems, I'm going to be upset. What good is it that I'm right? Better be smart. So the second and most important thing is that you want to start knowing how to let go. And I'm not saying it's easy. You have to be smart here. It's not about the right. Again, you have to, when you're dealing with a situation, is you have to observe the situation and say, how am I letting go? That person hurt my feelings. That person stole from me. That person is talking behind my back. That person sat in my seat. So what? You know, I spoke about it the other day with somebody, and I told that person that that person told me, how do you not have an ego? You're very famous, and you're everywhere, and people know you, and how is it not doing an ego? How come you're not like walking like with all schwitzing? Schwitzer, you know? Not schwitzing with from the heat. He's like, how come you don't have an ego? And I told him, because I don't want to. I don't like that. I don't like being known. I hate going in the street and every 2 seconds somebody stops me. The other day I went to a meeting. I'm 40 minutes late. He's telling me, you're late. I told him I'm 40 minutes outside. He's like, oh, you couldn't find parking? I said, no, 10 people stopped me, one person after the other. I couldn't even come. So I don't like that. So I said, it doesn't make me feel anything because I don't like that. I don't want that. But I told him, you know why? Because I don't look for this attention. If I'm looking for the attention, then I'm going to try to dig that attention under the ground. And if I'm pushing away the attention, then at least it puts me in the right perspective. And the example that I told him, you know, that maybe 3 years ago, my rabbi told me, you have to add the word rabbi in front of your name. 5 years, I never added the word rabbi. So I added the word rabbi. Suddenly I started getting phone, congratulations, wow. What do you mean congratulations for what? No, I said you became a rabbi. Well, rabbi already for 5 years. I just didn't find any reason why I should put the word rabbi before my name. It's nobody's business. If I had a shul, if I had a yeshiva, that's a whole different thing. But I didn't. And people started coming and telling me, congratulations. I said, and they told me, when did you get your? I said, 5 years ago. Now you remember to put the name? I said, I'm not looking for attention. Now in the beginning what happened, why didn't I want to do that? Because in the beginning, when suddenly I changed my profile, then suddenly everybody changed. Kvod Arav, sit down here, and I got different respect. Which I didn't want. You know why? Because some places didn't give that respect. And in the beginning, it was a conflict. Somebody once invited me to a lecture. He didn't say on the flyer, rabbi. I got upset. Why don't you say writing rabbi? Somebody once called me up to a big lecture. They told me, we have a very interesting speaker, Alon Anava. Rabbi. So then I was like, I don't need the title, because the title makes me feel like too important. Now if somebody, chas v'shalom, doesn't say that, now it's hurting my ego. You know what I mean? Sometimes I go to certain shuls and they put me on the stage in the place of honor. I rather go to the shul and sit in the corner. I don't want to be on the stage. Because if I sit on the stage, that already starts pumping your ego. I rather sit quietly in the corner with everybody. I don't need to be pulled out. Why? Because it starts building and pumping my ego. And I rather do that because that's what makes a person lower in his eyes. Doesn't matter what you achieved, doesn't matter your records, doesn't matter your diplomas, it doesn't matter. The more you know how to humble yourself, the more greater Hashem is going to make you. Look at our master and our teacher, Moshe Rabbeinu. You know, every person in our history got a title. Not every person, but a lot of our tzaddikim and our sages got a title. Avraham got Avinu. Yosef, HaTzadik. Aaron HaKohen. Shmuel HaNavi. David HaMelech. A lot of people got a title. Moshe got also a title. Rabbeinu. Our teacher. And nobody else got that title. I mean, now you walk in the street with a beard, everybody's like, Rabbeinu! But there's only one Rabbeinu. There's only Moshe Rabbeinu. Because he came to teach us. So he gave us the Torah, but mainly he came to teach me something that is the basics of everything. Va'isha Anav Mikol. Moshe Rabbeinu was the most humble person in the world. And you would think he would have an ego that is out of control. You know, just 2 weeks ago, we read about the parasha with Korach, 3 weeks ago. And what really happens in this story? Comes a man, Korach, and starts rebuking Moshe Rabbeinu. He's proving him wrong. Now, Korach was not some, an average person. First of all, he was family. He's cousins with Moshe. Second of all, Korach was a billionaire. In our terminology, it was like a Bill Gates. He was multi-millionaire. More than that, was a big Talmid Chacham. Korach was mamash a big Talmid Chacham. He was so big, such a politician, he gathered with him 250 heads of Sanhedrot, of like big Supreme Courts. And then he comes to Moshe Rabbeinu and he starts proving him. Who made you king? Who decided your brother can be the Kohen? Who let you do that? Now you would think that Moshe Rabbeinu would react like, whoa, sit down, relax. Who are you talking to? You know who I am? I'm Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm the king. I talked to Hashem face to face. I took the Jews out of Mitzrayim. I opened the sea. Shut up. That's what you would think that he would, that's what you would expect him to talk. You know what the Torah says? Vayipol al panav vayevk. He fell on his face and started crying. He said, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe he's right. That's midat anava. Now, because he was so humble, then Hashem raised him to levels that nobody will ever reach. Lo kam kenavi b'Yisrael keMoshe. The level of prophecy, nobody will get to that level ever again. Moshe Rabbeinu would talk to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. All the prophets would get their prophecy at night. And Moshe Rabbeinu, like a buddy, Hashem is talking to him. So we need to learn from that our obstacle is my ego. And the more I know how to diminish my ego, I know how to let go. If I don't know how to diminish my ego, I will never let go. And then I'm holding all this junk, I will never be happy. Now, it doesn't mean this is going to solve my problems. Don't think that this is a problem solver. But it reduces 50 to 80% of the sadness that I'm carrying around me. Now, you have to make your own calculation. You wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and tell yourself, am I really, really happy? If you're saying yes, good. Then they don't need to do much. But you have to be very honest. And most people, I don't need them to email me or call me. I look at their face, I know if they're happy or not. And most people are not happy. Doesn't matter how big their smile is, doesn't matter how many cars there are in the driveway, doesn't matter anything. The happiness comes from inside. And inside, in Hebrew, you know how you say inside? Bifnim. And you know where it shows? Bapanim. I can look at somebody and tell you right away everything about. Because the real simcha, you see it on the face. A person can be poor, can be wherever, and he will be happy. And a person can have everything in the world. So most of all, one needs to be honest with themselves and see, where am I really holding? And the reality is that a lot of the stuff, we don't have control over it. Because that's a challenge that Hashem wants me to go through. It doesn't mean that right now I'll do everything that I'm supposed to do and my life is going to be perfect. Hashem is constantly going to line up challenges in my life. And a lot of obstacles and a lot of hardships. It's not for me to chas v'shalom fall, it's for me to jump over it and to become a better person. And there's nothing wrong with a challenge or hardship. Challenges and hardships are cleaning all the junk that we accumulate, and the challenges is momentum. It's not momentum, it's like resistance. You go now to a gym, you want to be in shape, you can go now to the best gym in the town, pay the top dollar. If you're just going to sit like this, nothing's going to happen. You have to move. And even if you move, you need resistance. If not, nothing's going to work. So Hashem puts resistance. And these are the challenges that we have. And with the resistance, I'm able to develop. But if you focus on your day, you'll notice that a lot of the heaviness, sadness, depression, anger, the mood you're in is because you're not letting go. It doesn't matter who it is. And you can't let go, and I'm not chas v'shalom saying anything, attacking anyone. It's our ego. I also have a very big ego. I just know how to slowly screwing him to the ground. I don't want him. I don't like him. Oh, my ego was out of control. 15, 16 years ago, when I didn't look like this, oh, my ego was minimum Donald Trump. Minimum. Because I had results. Everything that I did was results. I had a lot of money. I was successful in everything that I did. Everything that I touched was gold. So I had a big ego. Till Hashem says, okay, come, let me take you for a ride. I'm going to flatten you. So Hashem has all the ways to iron people to the floor. But we don't want that. We don't want Hashem to do that. Then Hashem says, listen, I'm going to give you another chance, and another chance, and another chance. Do it yourself. If not, I'm going to have to. Because Hashem cannot stand ego. So the second thing we want to concentrate on is, how am I letting go? You have to make an analysis with your life. That person is annoying me. That person is owing me money. That person is upset at me. That person said something against me. How am I starting to let go and to forgive? To really forgive. Not to just say, it's very easy to say, yeah, I forgave. No, you didn't really forgive. You have to work on it with yourself, because the only one, I know a lot of people don't want to do it because they come to a point that they're like, yeah, but I'm right. He owes me money. He stole from me. He cheated from me. He did this. Yeah, I know you're right. So what? What good is it going to do to you? You know, my wife told me once, you can go into the book of Guinness in speed of falling asleep. She was like, you just put your head on the pillow and you fall asleep. She's like, I never seen anything like this. I said, yeah, because I have nothing going on here. There's no worries. I'm not upset. I'm not, you know why you don't fall asleep? Because you start reviewing, that person said this person did that. It's hard for you to fall asleep. Too much on your mind. Tell my wife, nothing's occupying my mind. Forget about the fact that I only sleep 2 hours every night. I don't have time to sleep. So I have to make sure that I'm using the time. But more than that, if nothing is bothering you, you fall asleep like that. Nothing stops you from falling asleep because you're not occupied with all sorts of thoughts. And how dare that person said that to me, and you're losing sleep over that. I'm not going to let anyone in the world make me lose sleep. I mean, you can call it selfish, but I'm not going to let anyone, I don't think nobody is worth me losing sleep, being angry, being upset, being not focused. You know how many times we have a yeshiva? And the yeshiva is a very special yeshiva because we have a program for men, older men. We have 40 to 60 men that attend every day. They're in their 50s and 60s. Older men. This is not like 20-year-old boys. And a lot of them I see when they're focused, and a lot of them I see when they're just sitting there, but the mind, ooh, like, I see all the wheels turning there. Why are you occupied? Why aren't you not learning? No, this guy said this, that person did that, this person said this, but you're losing now your time, your precious time. You only came for 2 hours to learn. You are missing the class because somebody else did something to you and you're holding it in you. Let go. You're losing from it. It's almost like going on a vacation, and the whole vacation you're worried about what's going on in your business. So why did you go on vacation? Just stay home. So the point you want to take from tonight is that I need to know, how am I letting go? And the way to let go is that you have to start, diminishing your ego. And again, I'm not attacking anyone. I also have an ego. We all have an ego. That's how we were born. It's not an attack. Chas v'shalom. Don't take it personal that I'm saying that we all have it. It's just I'm raising more awareness that you know, what do I need to deal with? And when you know how to start diminishing it, the result will be that you'll start knowing how to letting go. Here, let go here, let go here. Because the only one that suffers from that is only you. Now, to top on all that comes another component, that's really the secret that I find, that I didn't invent that. It's written in our holy books. The secret that really makes a person the real happiness. And that's the art of giving. The more you give, the more you let go of you. And the more you give, doesn't matter to who, doesn't matter what. But when you're in the constant motion of giving, the more you have space for happiness to come into your life. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can be your time, can be your expertise, can be your patience, can be your money, can be your home, can be your car. It doesn't matter what it is. But most people, it's hard for them to give. Because I don't want to. I don't want to share too much of my time or my house, for sure my money. But come our sages, and they say the more you give, the more you practice the motion of giving. If you don't give at least 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day something, then you block yourself. Then even if somebody wants to give you, you are blocked. You're not going to receive it. Because if I have a cup and I want to get more, I need to empty the cup. I have to drink it or I have to give it. But in order for me to receive, my vessel has to be empty. It has to be clean. And it has to be complete. That can only be done with Torah and mitzvot. But if I have an empty vessel, that's when Hashem can start giving me the bracha. You know how many people come and tell me, give me bracha? And then the bracha is free. But what good is this bracha going to do to you if you don't know how to hold the bracha? I can give you 50 brachot. You think it's going to help? If you don't have how to hold the bracha, it's not going to help. You can go 50 times a day and get bracha. It doesn't matter. You have to come with a vessel. You see in many communities when somebody gets a bracha, they open their hands. You have to create the vessel where the bracha is going to come in. And in order for the bracha to come in, you have to give something out. That's how it works. Hashem says, you give something out, then you make room for me to give you more. So, the secret of being happy is only by giving. And the more you give, the more you make space. You make space for your problems to disappear. You know, I have a ladies' seminary, a school for women. They're older women, where they want to learn Torah, when they become observant. And we have a student, our oldest student is 78 years old. We have students in their 60s, in their 50s, ladies. It's just for ladies. It's a very, very special place. And, you know, when I opened the place, I didn't even know what came to me. Somebody told me, are you okay in your mind? You opening a school for women? You're going to be dealing now with 500 women every day? Are you okay? And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? You know, now I'm on tour. I don't live here. I live in Eretz Israel. I came here for a 10-day tour of lectures. So one day, my secretary sends me a message, are you okay? Yeah, why not? No, there's somebody said this and that. So like maybe 30 women were, you know, women like making a whole geshrayt or something. You know, I would say, I would just sneeze. He sneezed! He's sick! He has pneumonia! Call them! He just sneezed. So I get a message, are you okay? Yeah, everything's fine. Why? So, and then she tells me, listen, you have about 30 mothers. Jewish mothers, you have a lot of mothers. I mean, all my students can be my mothers. Can be my mother. So I have a lot of mothers worrying about me. Are you okay? Did you eat? Are you sleeping well? Leave me alone. What do you want from me? I have enough one mother that asks me if I ate and I slept, if I'm being treated. So I have back at home 500 mothers. So everybody told me, are you okay in your mind? You sure you want to do that? And after the fact, I was like, oh, what did I got myself into? But the problem is, we have a lot of drama. We don't have a free moment. We never have a boring moment around where we are. Baruch Hashem, there's always action. So one time, unfortunately, very sad story, one of the ladies, her husband was very violent and he was hitting her, lo aleno. So she had to come to our home in the middle of the night, knock on the door with the baby, and a whole problem. Police the whole night, and the husband screaming, and a whole show. 4 o'clock in the morning, my wife and me go to bed. And then in the next day in the morning, I was very, very tired, and I told somebody, he's like, why you look very tired? I said, I was up till like 4 in the morning. He's like, why? What happened? I told him this is what happened, and we had to stay up, and she was over in our home, and he tells me, doesn't it bother you to somebody's in your home with a baby on your couch, and the police are in the home, and the husband is threatening you, and phone calls, and it doesn't bother you? So I said, you know what? No, it doesn't bother me. I rather deal with somebody else's problems. Because when I deal with somebody else's problems, God deals with my problems. So I said, I'd rather deal with everybody else's problems. And you know what? Baruch Hashem, Hashem deals with my problems. That's how it works. And I told him, no, I don't, but I'd rather do that because I have to deal with problems. This world is the world of problems. Hashem says, you choose with which problems you want to deal with. You want to choose with deal with your problems? Go ahead. You want to choose me to deal with your problems? Then deal with somebody else's problems. And that's the giving. Giving, a lot of people, they translate the word giving as writing a check. That's very nice to write a check. But giving is giving my time. If I'm an expert in something, I can give somebody my time. Even if I'm not an expert in something, just listening. 10 minutes, listen to somebody. You know, helping 10 minutes with babysitting, whatever it is. I'm not going to start give you ideas. But the point is that all day long, I need to run after acts of kindness. That's, by the way, what really impresses Hashem. Not if you have a long beard, not if you have a black yarmulke, not if you learn 3 hours a day Gemara. Hashem says, all this I have a lot in Shamayim. Your Torah is nothing to me. I have Rabbi Akiva in Shamayim. Your Torah is this big for me. So we don't impress Hashem, but what impresses Hashem is when I go out of my way, when I have problems. Not when I'm sitting like this and I'm free. When I have problems and I go and help somebody else. That's where Hashem says, oh, that I like. Now I'm going to help you because you are moving your business away and you are going to help somebody else. 1 hour. You know that my wife, Baruch Hashem, very busy. We have 6 kids, we have a school, we have a lot of things going on. And Baruch Hashem, we have very, very nice people in the community. They come, they babysit the kids for an hour. They do something so she can go out and have an hour quiet. That's huge help. Doesn't have to be a check. It can be effort. It can be my time, can be my attention, can be my love, can be my patience, can be me taking you somewhere. The point is that we constantly have to be busy with giving. The more I give, 50 to 80% of your problems, they're not going to disappear, but the severity of it will not affect you. Again, this is not the recipe to get rid of your problems. We're always going to have problems. This world is the world of problems. Hashem says, I don't want you to look at it as a problem, I want you to find solutions. You know now, Baruch Hashem, the event was supposed to be outside around the pool, and that was the plan. And then we hear that there's going to be rain. For the last 10 hours, inside, outside, up, down, the rain, there, take the chairs in, take the chairs out, where are we going to put the food? Why are you looking for more problems? Look for a solution. Find a solution. That's what Hashem wants. That's what Hashem wants. That's what's going to happen. Doesn't matter if you're going to drive yourself crazy. That's what's going to happen. So this world is a world of problems, but I want to know how to at least be happy with everything around me. It's not problems. Not too long ago I heard a beautiful thing that somebody told me, that they asked the Lubavitcher Rebbe, what's the difference between emunah and bitachon? Between faith and trust. Because seemingly it's the same thing. So he says, emunah, having faith in Hashem, is that I know that Hashem can do whatever He wants. And He has the power to do whatever He wants. But bitachon is that I know that He's going to do what is the right thing. And that the challenge that Hashem put in front of me is what I'm supposed to do. And I have bitachon, that Hashem is going to give me the power to go through this challenge. That's it. To have faith is one thing, but to have bitachon, to have trust in Hashem, that's very, very hard. So the reality is that we all deal with a lot of problems. But I want to minimize it, and mainly I want to know how to live with issues. It's not going to go away. You deal with one problem, then a new problem will come. That's the way of life. And usually they continue coming. When you're all young here, I told you I have some pretty old ladies in our school. They tell me, I'm in my 70s, I still have problems. The problems don't disappear. But it's all about the attitude, how you're dealing with the problem. And if you know how to deal with things, then you're reducing 50 to 80% of your hardship, your sadness, your depression, your anger, all these emotions. You know how to let it go. So A, we said you want to add more mitzvot. Again, you choose what is good for you. B, you need to know how to start crushing your ego to be able to start letting go. To know how to let go of things. You know, when I come into my office in the morning, my work day starts at 2 because I teach all morning. And then I have, you know, a desk full of notes, emails, messages, action. First 2 hours, let's just turn off fires. Let's just handle problems. But everything, when it's done in a very calculated way, problems will always come. Bills will never stop coming. They're always going to come. Whether you want it or not, they will come. Con Edison will never forget you. Even sometimes it comes maybe a day later. Sometimes you say, ooh, they forgot. They didn't send me a bill. Don't worry, it's coming. So the bills, the problems, the issues are always coming. I just need to know how to be ready to handle it. Just say, okay, whatever, this is part of life. So I want to be able to crush my ego and to just let go. Trust me. Start working on it. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying what you need to do. Start letting go. Start with one thing a week. You'll see that slowly, you're a little bit of a happier person. The point is we want to be happy. This is the end of the day. And the most important thing, in the hard times, in the problems, in all the hardship, give. It's all about giving. And you find out what you can give. And usually it's giving where it's not comfortable to give. Not when it's easy to give. When it's easy, that's not a big deal. You have to see what it's hard for me to give. I'll tell you a story that once there were two merchants and they would go far away from their village, make money, come home. They were probably Syrians. So one time they go on a business trip, they make a lot of money, Baruch Hashem, on their way home. It was time for Shabbat, and they saw they're not going to make it back home, so they had to stop in the nearest town. They stop, okay, we have to do Shabbat. Where are we going to do Shabbat? So start looking around, asking around. Somebody tells them, go to the end of the village, there's a Jew there. Okay, they come to him, it's maybe an hour before Shabbat, knock on the door. We're Jews, can we stay here for Shabbat? He tells them, yes, $5,000 a night. What? Are you serious? Yeah, $5,000 a night for each one. And they were, you out of your mind? He says, this is it, you don't want to go. Do whatever you want. So they said, okay, we must, probably what we made has to go for the Shabbat. They give him the money and they come in. Now in their mind, they just paid $5,000. They're like, you think we're going to be sitting quiet here? Hey, sir, bring us more food. Wash my bags, wash this, massage me, this, take me this. The whole Shabbat, they were making him run up and down, up and down. Bring me more, get my money's worth. Give me more food. Change my sheets. The towel is wet. The whole Shabbat, they were driving him crazy. Comes Motzei Shabbat, Toda Rabbah, they pack their bags and they leave. The exact same like the story with Binyamin after he was in the feast with Yosef. They open the bag, they see the money there. Hey, wow, what's going on? They're coming back. Sir, why is the money here? He tells them, I don't need your money. They're like, what? You told us you wanted $5,000 a night. He's like, I don't need your money. Here, take it back. So they're like, well, why did you tell us that you wanted money? He says, listen, if I would not charge you anything, you would be embarrassed. You would be sitting in your room. You wouldn't come out the whole Shabbat. I would tell you, come and eat. You would tell me, no. What kind of achnasat orchim I would do? Now, I told you it's going to be a lot of money. See, you made me do achnasat orchim. I was running up and down, feeding you, catering you. Now you made me do the mitzvah. Now you can go. I don't need your money. I need the mitzvah. So, to give when it's very, very easy, that's not chokhmah. That's not a big deal. You have to give when it's hard. If it's in your money, when it's hard to give the money, when you have a very busy schedule, is to give 20 minutes of your time. So giving is the key of happiness. And it starts with somebody close to you. I know a lot of people, they give a lot of time to their customers. Comes to give 10 minutes to their child. No, I don't have time. So sometimes giving is to somebody very close to home. Sometimes I have a very busy schedule. But sometimes I know I need to give my wife 10 minutes just to talk. Or my kids, or whatever it is. And the more you know how to give from yourself, the more you make yourself simple and smaller, it doesn't mean that you're diminishing who you are. You need to know who you are. You need to know your talents. You need to know where you're good, where you're strong. You can't make yourself a shmate. That's not the point. Point is to say where am I able to give, and the more that I'm giving, trust me, the more you will get. And I'm not only talking about the bracha that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you. He gives you the most important thing is simcha, is happiness. Problems will never go, but at least let me be happy. You know, my grandmother, before she died, she had all sorts of diseases. She was always happy, constantly happy. She was diagnosed when she was 86 with some liver cancer. That's how, after she went through a very, very hard life. She was in the Holocaust. She survived the Holocaust. Her husband died when she was very, very young. Her whole life was hardships. When she's 86, she's diagnosed with cancer, and the doctors tell her, you have about 3 months to live. And if we treat you, maybe half a year. She was like, I don't want you to barbecue me. Just leave me alone. And she was thankful and happy. All the time happy. She lived another 5.5 years. 5.5 years. Just happy. She never took anything to heart. She knew how to thank for everything. And she knew how to help. And she knew how to be just happy. Trust me, when you're happy, it doesn't matter if the bank calls you, the credit card calls you, the car broke down. Doesn't matter. Happy inside. Doesn't matter what challenge Hashem shoots to your direction, you're happy. So you want to add mitzvot, you want to let go, and you want to know how to give. And Bezrat Hashem, that's when Hashem knows how to start giving you the bracha. Then you can go and get the bracha for happiness and success and money and business and shidduchim for the kids and refuah. Because Hashem says, listen, I can't give you the bracha if you don't know how to hold it. Needless to say that the Yetzer Hara always going to try to make you sad. The Yetzer Hara is always going to come from the side and try to break your spirit. Because when you're sad, you don't want to do anything. You don't have cheshek to do anything. You don't want to wake up in the morning, you don't want to pray, you don't want to eat, you don't want to do nothing. So, B'ezrat Hashem, I hope that when you leave today the door, that you take something with you besides the good food that they served, that you take some material with you to know to start apply it. To apply, okay, what am I doing this week? What mitzvah am I taking on myself this week? It doesn't have to be something huge, it's something. But something that I add. That I know, okay, I have my spiritual side. Who am I forgiving this week? Start slowly. Trust me, you're going to see miracles if you start doing that. And who's my project this week? Where am I giving? Where am I less stingy with my time? You start applying all this, I can guarantee to you, you're going to see a huge change in your life. Besides that, now is a very auspicious time. You know, the 3 weeks between Yud Zayin B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av, seemingly it's a very hard time for the Jews. But really, it's hard because the more Kedusha there is, the more there's going to be Tum'ah, impurity. That's how it works. So because it's such an auspicious time, then that's why all the bad things happen. But it's actually a very powerful time to take on yourself something and to change. What you can achieve in these 3 weeks cannot be achieved through an entire year. Not only that, you know, the ultimate thing what we're lacking, we don't have Mashiach, we don't have Bet HaMikdash. Tomorrow, Be'ezrat Hashem, in Park Avenue, we're having a big lecture at 8:30. If you don't know about it, then put it down on your calendar. 8:30 in Park Avenue, a very big lecture about Mashiach. You don't want to miss it. Very interesting information. But we don't have that because we don't know how to make space. We need some tools how to do it. And when I start applying everything that I told you, I can guarantee to you will get the ultimate bracha from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And that bracha is to have happiness. I'm not talking right now about everything else that we need, but we want to be happy. B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should bless you all to be unbelievably happy, unconditionally happy. Needless to say that the bracha should affect that you all should have parnasa b'shefa v'berevach and briut, unbelievable health. And you should be able to marry your kids, marry yourself if you need to. The kids should be healthy. That everything in your life should be obvious and clear and pashut and simple. And the bracha should be very obvious and very clear coming from the abundance of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And that you should all be the right vessel to receive the bracha. B'ezrat Hashem, only left to wish you all to be unbelievably happy. And B'ezrat Hashem, with the ultimate simcha and happiness, they say simcha poretzet geder. The simcha and the happiness, it breaks all barriers, and that takes us one step closer to see with our own eyes the coming of the redemption. B'ezrat Hashem, we should see it very soon with our own eyes.